Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Ty and today we're talking about what's new in Dying Light the Beast, as usual. But we also have a few things to talk about with Dying Light 2 as well, like that new paid quest line, so let's get right into it. Nightmare mode has arrived, introducing a new vault hell that constantly follows you around at night called the Alpha. It takes on the theme of the infected from Dying Light 2 with its orange glowing chest and eyes, which are noticeable from a distance. Overall, visually, I do think it looks pretty cool, but I do know they could have done a lot more with this redesign, and just make it more unique like the Alpha vault hells in the first Dying Light. Those really stand out. But the one thing I think they definitely nailed with these guys is these sounds. They sound genuinely terrifying. They definitely nailed that. I think they should have played with the size a bit, make it more of a larger imposing threat, make it actually seem like an alpha, you know? But then they would have had to tweak the animations, and maybe that's just asking for too much with this game. Alright, now on the positive end, I did like a lot of the other stuff introduced in this update, like hunger to keep track of. In Nightmare mode, you'll need to focus on collecting food and keeping track of that hunger bar, which dried meats, from my experience, were the most efficient, so if I had to say, those are the ones to go scavenge for. This creates a survival element I've always wanted in these games, and I do think they did a pretty good job with it. If you're in combat, it'll drain incredibly quick, so it just makes you think about your decisions more instead of, swinging your arms mindlessly. I like intensive survival games like Project Zomboid, but I understand if this sort of thing doesn't bode well for you, and if it doesn't, then the flashlight definitely won't either. In Nightmare mode, you will also need to keep track of batteries, which can drain your flashlight in 7 minutes and 30 seconds. I've seen more people frustrated about that aspect than the hunger, but I think it's great. And so, does Nightmare mode actually feel like a nightmare? Well, a little bit, because the game is no longer a breeze at all. When Legend levels first came out, they made it so you could one-punch anything, even the final boss of the game. It was just a bit silly and made it so you could never see a finisher ever again. Although, you could just reset your levels and add as many as you want, you did have that choice. So now, and I knew this was gonna happen, I warned you guys that they would course correct, and they did, and a lot of people think they course corrected too much. Techland is dealing with the dilemma where a crowd of the player base wants that power fantasy of being able to demolish and one-tap everything. Then the other side wants to experience the thrill, actually have a challenge, while still enjoying the progression along the way. I do see them trying to find a balance here, and so I am curious, where do you fall into this? Nightmare mode also makes it so sleeping costs hunger, taking off a pretty big chunk, and if you're starving, well, you're out of luck. Another change for Nightmare mode is looking at the map actually doesn't slow down time, so you can get randomly attacked if you aren't paying attention to your surroundings. So let's talk about the reward for Nightmare mode, because of course there is one, and it's a fucking Bober the Beaver skin. There's also a truck skin which also looks pretty cool, but I've been asking for a Bober the Beaver skin since I met that mascot back at the preview event, and they actually did it. It's hilarious running around or driving with these big old bushy arms. The furry fans are probably going wild over this one. I am surprised they didn't give us a skin for the Baron, seeing as that's what the other games in the series did with Rise and Waltz being playable. But I'm not gonna lie, and I'm not a Baron hater per se, but this is much better than the Baron. Oh yeah, there's also a couple new finishers, one for blunt and one for slashing, which is this one. As I've shown throughout the video, at some point you'll be able to get this skin, and to be honest, no clue what it's for, but since it's already in the game files now, it'll probably be available for everyone very soon. One thing I can't confirm if it's in the game now, and if someone could, that'd be great, are these Chimera charms you get from killing Chimera in the story, so here are all of those. And before we continue, I just gotta say, special thank you to Pro Aimer for providing me the save so I can show this stuff to you guys. Now, I didn't have a chance to confirm for myself, but I heard they nerfed the Chupaga axe, which was one of the strongest in the game, so that may be no longer the case. Alright, so while a lot of people are disappointed that Legend levels were reworked and you're no longer super powerful, I'm actually more disappointed that they patched my volatile farm spot. Like, come on man, was that really necessary? I made a short video showing off a spot you could crawl into that could be considered too good. And apparently, Techland was in that crowd because now you just can't shoot or melee. This is the type of thing that makes me scratch my head, and I do get it. You don't want people cheesing levels the entire time, but at the same time, this takes away from the fun. It actually does. If some people want to farm volatiles to get levels, let them. If they want to do it naturally throughout the story, let them do that too. Instead of patching the fun, make a fun solution to counter it. Although, if you just move far back enough, you could eventually shoot. So there's that at least. It's not fully patched. Alright, also I'm not sure if this was the case in other difficulties, but you can find legendary weapons and convoys when playing Nightmare, so that's something else to keep in mind. So, while we're here, here's the new weekly challenges, which I'm just gonna steal a joke from a fellow content creator that looks exactly like a white can of Monster, and you can't convince me it doesn't. This challenge revolves around you grappling around the map, so there you go. Like the past couple weeks, I'll show a closer look at the rewards in a new short very soon. They also announced the Christmas event is coming back to Dying Light 2, so yeah, that probably means we aren't getting snow in Castor Woods, right? Like, who knows what they got planned for early next year, but this would have been the perfect time to introduce snow into Castor Woods, and as I've mentioned numerous times, it's just sitting in the game files. But maybe Techland wants to do more with it, or maybe it's just an optimization issue. I wish we knew. Now, along with the return of the Christmas update, Dying Light 2 also got a new bundle, and it's a bit pricey, so I'm iffy on that. The thing is, there's actually a 4-part quest line attached to it, and if you guys want me to buy this this and show it off, so you guys can decide if it's worth it or not. Let me know down below. Like, I'm gonna be real, I'm gonna keep it short, but I hate that they're putting this behind a paywall. I just think when you pay $60 for a game, you shouldn't have quests that are behind a paywall like this. Now, with the actual quests, I do understand what they're trying to go for. As you play, you progressively get more gear, and you get the full outfit set by the end, like we saw with the PUBG mobile quests in Dying Light the Beast. I like these little extra mini story side quests, just not for $16. Bloody Ties, a full-on story DLC with its own side quest, its own map and stuff, released for $10. So if we just want to be real, look at the value of what we're getting here, I hope that's a very, very good quest. Anyways, I hate to end on a negative note, but that's just how it be in the gaming space these days, and that's where I'm gonna end it for today. So if you enjoyed, then feel free to like the video, subscribe to stay up to date on the latest news, and stop by next time. Adios.